Good evening, friends. This is Santa Claus coming to you on January 27th, 2026, with today's news from around our wonderful world. On this historic day in 1820, brave Russian explorers first discovered the Antarctic continent, a reminder of humanity's enduring spirit of discovery that continues to inspire us. My goodness, there's much happening in our global village today. The European Union and India have reached what European Commission President von der Leyen called the mother of all deals, a free trade agreement affecting nearly 2 billion souls. Prime Minister Modi noted this represents 25% of global GDP and one-third of global trade. What a beautiful example of cooperation that can benefit so many families and communities, especially as nations seek partnership in challenging times. Now, turning our attention to diplomatic matters, I see British Prime Minister Starmer is flying to China today on the first visit by a UK leader in 8 years. It's heartwarming to see efforts to rebuild relationships, even as the Prime Minister navigates some tensions with the United States. Sometimes, dear friends, the most important gift we can give is simply showing up and extending a hand of friendship. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, President Trump has been quite active on the trade front. He's threatened to increase tariffs on South Korea to 25%, which has caused some concern among our Korean friends. According to Bloomberg Economics, the president has made several such threats recently, though they've found he follows through only about a quarter of the time. Whatever the outcome, I pray that kindness and fairness guide all trade negotiations, as these decisions affect the livelihoods of hardworking families everywhere. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on some concerning news from Iran. Human rights groups report that the government's crackdown on protesters may have resulted in a tragic loss of life far greater than initially thought. My heart aches for all those affected by this violence. We must remember that every person is precious in God's sight, and the peaceful resolution of differences should always be our highest aim. In a troubling development connected to Iran, Reuters has uncovered that Iranian tankers have been delivering jet fuel to Myanmar, enabling the military junta there to conduct bombing campaigns that have struck civilian locations. Oh my, this reminds us that we must always be vigilant about how our actions might bring harm to the innocent. Let us pray for peace in Myanmar and protection for vulnerable communities. On a more hopeful note, Syria may soon hold new talks with Kurdish forces to discuss integration after a year-long dispute. With U.S. support, there's potential for a lasting ceasefire and political resolution. What a blessing it would be if these talks succeed in bringing stability to a region that has suffered so much. In economic news, U.S. consumer confidence has declined to its lowest level since 2014, according to the Conference Board. Many households are feeling uncertain about the economy and job market. During challenging economic times, I'm reminded of how important it is that we look out for one another, sharing our blessings with those in need. President Trump's ambitious Golden Dome missile defense initiative marks its one-year anniversary, though progress appears slower than anticipated. The program aims to create a comprehensive homeland defense system by 2028, but technical disputes have delayed the release of funds. Complex projects often require patience and careful consideration, especially when they involve matters of national security. Over in Europe, we're seeing some disagreement between France and NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte about Europe's defense capabilities. French Foreign Minister Barrot believes Europeans can and must take charge of their own security, while Rutte suggested the continent cannot defend itself without American support. These discussions remind us that security concerns touch us all, and finding the right balance requires wisdom and cooperation. And finally, Mexico has shelved a planned shipment of oil to Cuba amid tensions with the United States. This development comes as President Trump increases pressure on Cuba, demonstrating how decisions in one nation can ripple outward to affect others. As I look at all these developments across our beautiful world, I'm reminded that despite our differences and challenges, we are all connected in this grand tapestry of humanity. May we approach each other with compassion, seek understanding before judgment, and remember that every act of kindness, no matter how small, brings light to our world. From my workshop at the North Pole, this is Santa Claus wishing you peace, joy, and goodwill toward all. Good night, dear friends.